Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy because the whole time Halle said that DDG chipped a tooth and the whole internet went crazy. The whole internet went crazy. Now DDG is showing receipts of the mermaid. You see, cutting him, stabbing him. This is crazy because
you in a group chat with my lawyers.
Shit.
Oh, so this is the reason why all this is coming out.
Yeah, my boy Daryl, man, you gotta make sure he's a good dude. He's a good human being.
This is why all this is coming out. It makes sense. Not gonna lie, Halle Berry, you're cooked. You need Jay-Z to back you up.
Halle Bailey was supposed to be living her dream, front and center as Disney's modern-day mermaid, glowing with every red carpet appearance and serenading fans with that unmistakable voice. But behind the fairy tale glimmer, something much heavier was brewing. And when it finally cracked, it wasn't just a breakup. It was a full-on public unraveling. At first, the signs were subtle. A few unfollows, cryptic lyrics, slightly colder posts. Fans speculated, shrugged, and scrolled past. But then came the headline that turned whispers into chaos. Halle had stepped into a downtown LA courtroom, makeup-free, eyes puffy, holding what looked like a full binder of receipts. No stylists, no team, just her and a folder. According to insider sources, she wasn't there for drama. She was there to draw the line. She reportedly told the judge she needed space, protection, and clarity, not just for herself, but for her baby. And surprisingly, the court didn't hesitate. Within hours, Halle walked out with full temporary custody of her son and a court order that kept her ex over 100 yards away. Social media exploded. Fans hailed her as a protective mother finally putting her foot down. The mermaid had found her roar, and for a moment, it felt like the story was over. But as you'll see, this was just the beginning.
No. Chat, great fit, man. Feel like, damn, bro. Should I get a stylist? Why are they saying GGTNZ? Let's see. Alright, looking at her story now. Oh. About that. Don't even.
That can't even be real.
That, bro.
But that can't even be real.
But,
that's the thing.
But don't even. But you remember we talked about last night? All that. Let me say something. It's not.
No, I'm saying, but I don't know where that even came from.
Yo, stop these fake allegations. This is a father. This is a real person. It's a good human being.
Even, but I don't.
But hey, bro, we on stream, bro.
Come on, like I gotta be.
Just don't do it, bro. Come here.
Don't even make no.
Go back. That's my real friend. We're not gonna do no false ruin this stream. He's a great human being. He does a lot for a lot of people. He's a man. He's a father, and we're gonna respect him. We're gonna love him. WDDG. If anyone got anything to say,
The fake narratives, man. Stop the bull. We don't want to hear that, bro. That's fake.
Just when it seemed like Halle had the internet's full support and the narrative was wrapped in a neat little bow, her ex, DDG, decided he wasn't going to stay silent. Out of nowhere, the calm cracked. He dropped a digital trail of messages, screenshots, and carefully timed posts that flipped everything upside down. Suddenly, the roles weren't so clear. DDG painted a very different picture, one where he wasn't the villain, but someone trying to keep his cool in a situation that was spiraling fast. His story? That things weren't what they seemed. He claimed he was on the receiving end of unpredictable behavior, surprise pop-ups, emotionally charged messages, and even digital tracking. Yes, tracking. According to his side, he found multiple location devices hidden in the wildest places, including his car and, get this, even in his kid's diaper bag. The internet couldn't believe it. Was it real? Was it deflection? Either way, the vibe shifted. DDG's fans rallied, calling him a real one, for keeping receipts instead of reacting publicly. Halle's fans pushed back hard, calling it damage control. It was no longer about right or wrong. It was about who had the better story, the sharper screenshots, the cleaner timeline. And while the two sides battled it out in comments and hashtags, Hollywood was watching, and they didn't like what they saw.
What y'all got for DDG? That's the one where my age kind of caught up for me. I don't know all of the details with DDG. So the latest is that his partner, Halle Bailey, or former partner, filed for solo custody, temporary physical and legal custody of their son, Halo. She says that DDG abused her both emotionally and physically. And because of those allegations, she has been granted that custody. Of course, the internet always has their opinions on what that means or the why of it. And I think there's a temporary, there's also a temporary restraining order where he has to remain over 100 yards away from both her and the baby. And that expires on the court hearing date, which is June 4th.
See, this is my thing. If he did those things, then get DDG out of here. Mm-hmm. But if he didn't do those things, there's a clear blueprint and pamphlet that's being handed out to women as how to railroad and they're trying to railroad.
The easiest way.
If I want full custody, I don't want this kid. I want him to lose all rights and privileges. Then when I found for
Now, here's where things go from messy to full-blown career-threatening. While fans argued online, Hollywood studios were quietly taking notes. And when the court filings and online drama started trending for all the wrong reasons, the industry didn't just scroll past. They started backing away. Fast. Insiders say Halle was set to star in a major international film project. Something sleek, stylish, and far from the fairy tale world she'd just come from. It was supposed to be her big pivot, her grown moment on screen. But once the situation with DDG spilled into public court records and started generating headlines that didn't exactly scream Disney safe, the studio got nervous. Like, really nervous. Word is, execs started getting cold feet just days before filming. No official statement, no dramatic exit. Just her name. Gone from internal call sheets like it was never there. Some crew didn't even realize she was gone until they saw someone else on set. And that's when the whispers started. Was she dropped? Did the chaos get too loud? Did she really lose the role because of all this? Nothing confirmed. But when someone's name disappears that quietly, it doesn't take a press release to connect the dots. The brand that took years to build, the soft-spoken singer, the shining star of a billion-dollar Disney reboot, suddenly looked fragile. And just like that, Halle wasn't trending for her talent anymore. She was trending for something much harder to control: the fallout.
Our whole friend group went on this trip, and everyone on this trip can confirm there was nothing weird going on. I wasn't even staying near them. It was for someone's birthday. Let's start there. There was never anything sneaky going on. Like, me and Daryl's relationship has always been strictly started off as business. Obviously, if you know, you know, like, he put me onto YouTube, started off there, grew into a friendship, has always remained platonic. So it's very unfortunate. Like, I know people already have this narrative because it's just hard to believe that a guy and a girl can be friends. Like, it's hard to believe that me and him or any other guy and girl can just strictly be platonic friends, okay? But nothing has ever gone on past that, ever.
Just when everyone thought they'd seen the peak of the chaos, things took a sharp left. It wasn't another interview or a new statement. It was one post, late at night, that had people doing double takes. DDG dropped a thread of messages that hinted something behind the scenes had spiraled way beyond emotional text or dramatic exits. According to him, the tipping point came after a flood of late-night calls and messages from Halle, the kind that jumped from "we need to talk" to "call me now" in all caps. But then, the tone changed. He claimed she sent him a message that chilled him completely. Something vague but urgent, followed by a photo that looked like a cry for help. His response? Total panic. The texts were frantic, pleading for calm, asking if she was okay, saying things like, "Please stop, just breathe." Then came the image that made it all feel too real, allegedly showing her holding something sharp, the kind of photo that makes your stomach drop. DDG said he tried to de-escalate, said he didn't want any trouble, just wanted things to cool down. And just when people were trying to figure out what to believe, more posts surfaced, this time showing a deep cut across his hand. He didn't say much, just let the photos do the talking. And whether you were Team DDG or Team Halle, you couldn't scroll past that without pausing. Because now, this wasn't just messy. It was starting to feel like something neither side could spin clean. And still, no one really knew what to believe. But everyone was watching.
Texts like that. Oh, who hasn't beat on their man? Oh, This evidence is like 3 years old. Sorry. Have you guys not got brothers? Have you women not got sons? And yes, if your son is beating on your daughter-in-law, abso-fucking-lutely, you check him. But if you also know that your daughter-in-law is beating on your son or scratching up his face or cutting up his thumb or sending demanding and threatening messages, what, you're just going to sit back and be like, oh, he's a man, he should be able to take it? No, you're going to check her. Because I know I would. You can't be making these excuses because DV happens both ways. I know you don't want that to be true, but DV happens both ways. And he has supported that with evidence and messaging.
Just when the dust looked like it might settle, a deeper layer unfolded. One that pulled the internet in even harder. This time, it wasn't screenshots or court documents that sparked the conversation. It was Halle herself, in her own words. In a candid moment just weeks before everything exploded, she had opened up during an interview about how heavy things had been since becoming a new mom. She didn't try to hide it. She talked about the overwhelming waves of emotion, the feeling of being completely underwater, the moments where it felt like she was barely holding on. It was honest, raw, and it hit fans differently. Some applauded her for speaking out, calling it brave. But others? They started seeing it through a new lens. Especially after DDG brought that same interview into court. He claimed it wasn't just a passing comment, but a window into something serious. His team argued that she wasn't in the right headspace to travel across the world with their baby, especially without safeguards in place. And that's when the internet split straight down the middle. Half said DDG was crossing a line, weaponizing her vulnerability, trying to make her look unstable just to gain control. But the other half felt he was doing what any concerned parent would do, flagging the red signs before something went too far. Suddenly, this wasn't just a celebrity breakup. It was a full-blown custody battle with emotional health, international travel, and a child's safety tangled right in the middle. And for fans who once only saw Halle as the glowing Disney star, this new version of her, a stressed, stretched-thin mother under a microscope, was almost too real to process.
Why she saying it like that? I'm not trying to laugh, like, what the? Bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I already said how it is, chat. I stand on it. Chat, y'all know the truth? I put DD in a group chat with my lawyers. Shit.
Oh, so this is the reason why all this is coming out.
Man, my boy Daryl, man, you gotta make sure he's a good dude. He's a good human being.
This is why all this is coming out. It makes sense. I ain't gonna lie, Halle Berry, you're cooked. You need Jay-Z to back you up or something. There might be cooked.
At this point, it was less about who said what and more about who had the screenshots to prove it. And both sides came armed. What started as a few leaked messages turned into a full-blown digital tug-of-war, with every post feeling like a chess move. DDG wasn't just reacting anymore. He was strategizing, carefully dropping screenshots, timestamps, even audio clips that seemed to flip the entire story on its head. He painted a picture where he wasn't spiraling. He was documenting. And just when his side started gaining traction, Halle's camp pushed back. Legal motions were filed claiming all of this was part of a coordinated online smear campaign, accusing DDG of trying to win not just in court, but in the court of public opinion. And honestly, it was working. Some fans who had once stood firmly behind Halle started questioning things. The tone of the texts, the timing of the posts, the trackers allegedly found in unexpected places, it all felt straight out of a suspense series. Team DDG was celebrating every twist like it was a plot reveal, while Halle supporters were left wondering how something so private had become a digital spectacle. YouTubers, influencers, and even celebrities started weighing in, some defending Halle's silence, others calling her out. And then came the moment no one saw coming. One of DDG's friends casually admitted on stream that he helped connect DDG with legal backup, specifically to go after full custody. That one sentence made the whole thing feel less like a response and more like a playbook. It wasn't just messy anymore, it felt calculated. And while both sides claimed to be protecting their peace, what they were really doing was putting their entire story on display. For likes, for sympathy, and maybe even for revenge. Through all the leaks, the legal filings, and the back-and-forth posts, there was one name that kept showing up quietly, without a voice of his own: Halo. Just a toddler, barely old enough to speak in full sentences, now the centerpiece of a battle playing out in front of millions. While one parent argued for safety and structure, and the other fought for freedom and travel, the reality was this. Halo was waking up in the middle of a storm he couldn't possibly understand. For the internet, it was content. For the lawyers, it was strategy. But for this kid, it was his childhood unfolding in real time, wrapped in tension, emotional swings, and a whole lot of headlines. Fans began posting clips of past interviews, where Halle talked about being a mother, how she just wanted to keep her baby close, especially while filming. On paper, her request to bring Halo to Italy for a work trip sounded innocent enough, but DDG didn't see it that way. He filed an emergency motion to stop the trip, saying the timing wasn't safe and the distance was too much with everything else still unsettled. He argued that she was overwhelmed, not in the right headspace, and that taking their son overseas wasn't about bonding. It was about control. That claim hit hard, because once the mental health card was on the table, the studio started pulling back. Suddenly, it wasn't just a family fight, it was a liability. And while both parents insisted they were doing what was best for Halo, the truth was, every move seemed more about winning than healing. Halo didn't ask for any of this. But now his name is in the headlines, his baby photos floating across social feeds, his future being shaped by a battle that feels less about parenting and more about power. So now, here we are, 2 careers on edge, 1 toddler caught in the crossfire, and an entire internet audience still choosing sides. Halle Bailey went from rising star to trending headline, and DDG went from rapper in love to courtroom strategist. And the scariest part? The truth might still be buried under layers of screenshots, emotions, and spin. Was this all just a messy breakup gone viral? Or something deeper unraveling behind closed doors? Is Halle being unfairly punished for speaking her truth? Or did the industry see something that gave them pause? And what does it mean when public opinion flips faster than a TikTok trend? One thing's for sure, this story isn't over. The next court decision could change everything, and the spotlight is still burning. So what do you think? Is this a calculated smear campaign or a wake-up call? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading every single one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next twist in this real-life drama. Because in the world of fame, fairy tales don't always end the way you think.